Wednesday morning, back at the yard. Mum and Dad's hot water's not working. Just had a quick look. It looks like the pump that drives the water around the house is, well, it's not turning on, so I'm going to get a circuit tester, see whether it's the pump failed or just not getting power to it, and then we'll know where we're at. Turns out it's not the pump, it's just not getting power because it goes through the valve head and the valve head's not turning it on, so I'll go and get a valve head for it. It's a shiny wagon. You can see it for the dust just turned up for last load of barley of the year. Said it before, but lucky being urban fringe, within 5 minutes I've got the right valve head. Right, that's working now. Got an electric shock though, because one of them brown wires has snapped off, but my arm was on that, so it come in my hand and out the other side. I'm not sure if you can see a little brown mark on the middle of my finger. One of the brown wires had snapped off, flush with the end of the insulation. So as I'm trying to feed the circuit tester and it touched the end of my finger. Luckily my arm was resting on a metal pipe, so it went in my finger and out my arm. Give me a hell of a belt. Yeah, I don't like plumbing and electrics. As my hair stood up, it was a relatively straightforward job. I just turned the power off, undid the old switch motor valve, swapped it to the new one, turned it back on, but of course it didn't work, so I understand why. So that's why I have the circuit tester testing the wires to see where the power was. But the reason it hadn't worked is the main wire coming in, the copper had sheared off at the end inside the terminal, and it was only like a tiny bit just showing. So as I'm trying to shove the circuit tester in, it touched my finger. Oh, yeah. There was no more videos. I'll just show you here how I managed to get electrocuted this morning. So there's like a little chocolate block thing and all the wires went into it. And then I had a probe sticking it in to the wires to see which were live. But one of them sprung out because the wire had snapped like that, and that little bit of copper touched the end of my finger, and that's what gave me a shock. You can hardly even see it. This isn't the wire, but it looked exactly the same as that. See? But yeah, it sprung out, but I couldn't test it without the power on because I couldn't find the fault then. But yeah, these were all stuffed in like a little square block, and it just kind of like sprung out and touched my finger. Just waiting for Johnny's gone dropping some files off at the accountant's. We're on our way to the memorial service for Stephen Watson, who obviously died in, was it February, the day I was going to India, I found out. So yeah, that's why we're all smart. I've been to the funeral memorial service of Steve. It was really good because the guy that did it also did his funeral, so a lot of the eulogy was from that. I don't know if anyone knew Steve Watson, but he helped so many people. I've just done a 2-hour Zoom meeting with a company that they've not been helping us with the lobbying, but they've been giving us tips, and they were talking about ramping it up a little bit with some sort of social media paid promotions to make sure that we can get the videos and the likes and the messaging into the right people in Whitehall that make the policy. I'm not sure really, because if you look at this graph that I've put on the screen now, if you look at the very bottom right hand corner, you'll see that after the winter fuel allowance, which has just been rolled back on, we're pretty much at the top for people being grumpy about the government and their concerns. So I'm not really sure whether spending money to then, when we're already at the top of the graph. The problem is that hasn't happened by accident. That's happened with a lot of hard work from a group of us that have done some of the rallies and the protesting and the different things, and a lot of the lobbying we've been doing. But it's coming at a cost now. Like every time I go to London, it must cost about 100 quid on average on the train, between 150 quid and 250 quid for a hotel, £12.50 a day to park my car, loss of revenue from YouTube because no one wants to watch videos of me just talking rubbish to MPs. Yeah, and it's starting to add up to a considerable amount now because I've pretty much been there 2 or 3 times a month for the last 6 months. We don't know what to do because we've got to keep the pressure on. We do feel like we're getting somewhere, which is nice. but equally, it's coming at a cost. Now, people are like, oh, why don't you set up a GoFundMe? But we can't guarantee we're going to win, can we? We were on about doing them hoodies and putting a percentage on so that it helps towards some of the stuff. But what do you think of bumper stickers like I love farming or I love UK farmers or something, or some sort of slogan? That's today's quiz question. We're like, car stickers aren't that dear to produce if we get them in a large quantity, and then if you like a percentage of the you're only selling the car sticker really because of the need of the lobbying. So I'm just playing with these pens. So maybe, if you paid a tenner for a sticker, but really by the time it was posted, it might only cost £3, but then that could then go towards some of the recompense for what we've spent so far and what it's costing to do these lobbying missions. We are quietly confident that we're going to get something even more so after today, because now with that graph I showed you before, we were second or third from the most grumpiest thing that people were about the government. Well, we've moved up a place now, haven't we? And also with them breaking the fiscal rules, doing that's a good thing. Today's video is possibly the most boring video ever today. Not helped by the fact that I nearly killed myself this morning getting electrocuted. Also attending the memorial service isn't obviously something that you would film, and then losing 2 hours on Zoom. But yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you. I better go and do the birthdays while I've got all of the pens. Lovely pile of chip there that Andrew, I think, did this morning, and Rob. A bit more coming since, so that'll get thrown through in the morning. Dryer's been slowly working through that pile. Well, I say slowly, it's been doing 20 tonne a time. So they've been doing about 80 tonne a day, I think, which is good. We'll have a look what's left in the shed. Not really much left at all, just a tiny bit in the back corner. So get that through the dryer tomorrow, and then give it a spruce up and a clean and make sure everything's tickety-boo with that. And then I think it's nearly all leaving in the next week. I've not carried any wheat at all into June, and the price is totally plummeted anyway, so the sooner it's gone the better. Right off last year's harvest. This year's harvest isn't looking so clever, but we have got rain forecast for Saturday and Sunday. Annoyingly, only a little bit on Saturday, and then even less on Sunday, and then high winds, which will probably just blow it all off the fields anyway before it's soaked in. We'll go and have a look at this barley by the yard anyway, because it's turning very quick now. Now, it may look green to you, but if you look closely, can you see the tips now? Let's get a green leaf and hold it against the tips. Can you see how it's starting to turn yellow? Now, this was sown quite late, wasn't it? And it has still got quite long, big heads on it. But look at the cracks in the ground. I don't know how it's even still growing. Will that rain come in time? Who knows? It's probably held on a little bit better, this, because it was sown so late. So it needs the moisture for grain fill. So if we get it in the next week, we might be okay. But some of the other barley that was sown a bit earlier, possibly might be too late for it. Anyway, I'm going to go and do the birthdays. Just walked in the field a bit more. Look at these cracks. They're massive. It actually feels warm in there as well. When it rains, it's just going to drop straight down, isn't it? Morgan's not been here today, but I've just realised that light flashing on there. We may have a flat battery on this fence because that's been left turned on. So I'm going to unplug it now and hope that it hasn't flattened the batteries too much. I've just started the tractor up and it has started, so that's good. Yeah, there's nothing worse than this tractor that won't start because something's been left on. Some field action tomorrow anyway, because we're going to be baling that grass. Got a selection of rakes on today. So the twin rotor rake's on and the Samash rake is on. I think they've been using this one to roll the grass over so that it just literally inverts the row. And then the other one, I think Amanda might have used that to row her grass up. So, twin rotor wake and twin tractor rakes. Let me try and get them both in the same shot. Can't really, can you? Unless we go around here. Not really. I came in to do the birthdays on the front of the buggy because John's still out spraying. But, there you go. But there was only 2, so I can just do them because that's dead dusty. So Dewi Evans is on there and Dave Stevenson is on there. Happy birthday. He was actually on it twice, Dave. So yeah, happy birthday twice. I was going to say, yeah, that's probably all today. Sorry, it's been a bit boring video. It really has. I feel quite frustrated because I've not really got much done today. Anyway, thanks for watching nonetheless, and hopefully we'll see some tractors moving tomorrow. Bye for now.